Hi everyone, my name's Adam. I'm a counsellor and I'm going to do a quick talk to you on the theme of Feel It to Heal It, which is of course American. Of course, a title like that, Feel It to Heal It, is going to be American. But it comes from a guy that I listened to called David Kessler, who is a grief expert, and believe me, he knows his stuff. So Feel It to Heal It is all about giving ourselves permission and the right and the space to process and to go through feelings that we're feeling that are negative to us, that are hurting us in some way, that can cause conflict to us, such things as sadness, emptiness, grief, bereavement, trauma, all things like that. It's letting us just sometimes sit in it, and it is uncomfortable, but giving ourselves that time to go through it and to let it all out. So all the things that we will go through in our day-to-day lives are, they can have profound effects on us, not just emotionally, but also cognitively, as in for our thoughts, and also it can have an effect on us physically as well. So if you store up things that will make you anxious, when you feel anxious, you will feel a number of things physiologically in your body. Same as anger. Anger will have a profound effect on our bodies just as much. So if we're storing away things and pushing things down, suppressing them, denying they've happened, keeping ourselves busy, distracted from all these things, then, well, funnily enough, they're still in us. All these things are still within us, and we're just pushing them down into this part of our body. Normally, it feels like it's in our gut, that knotting feeling, and we'll be sitting in it for a long, long period of time, and we'll do everything we can to distract ourselves, to think about doing anything but actually addressing that situation and to actually feel it and to let it out. And we've got four core emotions: happiness, sadness, fear and anger, and they come out in certain ways. Happiness comes out in smiling, laughter and feeling free. Sadness can come out in tears or in being quiet and just being with ourselves and feeling down. Anger can come out in rage and all sorts of things like that, and fear can come out through anxiety. They're the four core emotions, and a lot of those will come out in different sort of derivatives, and sometimes we're very commonly, especially as men, to let the emotion of fear come out through anger, because that's a much safer way to be angry as opposed to being fearful, isn't it? So we'll go through all of these things, but by pushing these things down or pushing them to the back of our minds, what we're doing is we're taking them out of our consciousness. We're keeping ourselves busy, we're doing something else, we're saying that's not important to deal with right now, I'm going to deal with something else far more important. I go to work even though I lost my family member 2 days ago. Very, very common thing to do, and it's completely normal for many people to do. And it's something I've done in the past as well, and it wasn't healthy. It just was not good for me. We do these things, it goes out of our consciousness into our subconscious, our unconscious, and it sits there. And we may think that's dealt with because that's we're not thinking about it anymore. But it does. It will come out, and it won't come out in a controlled way. So if we can consciously connect with our emotions, if we can sit there and think, what am I feeling right now? Shit, I'm feeling sad. I'm really feeling sad. Think about what is it that's making you feel sad. Not making yourself cry, but actually just sitting there and thinking about it enough. Giving yourself the space. It could be away from anybody, or it could be sat there with someone that's compassionate, like a loved one. Or you can come along to counselling, into therapy, and to sit there with a counsellor disassociated from your life in some way, and so you can explore that in a safe way. And it's amazing when you talk things out, when you write things down, what that connects with in your body, and how processing that and letting it out feels. And it comes out in all sorts of waves of all sorts of physical sensations, as well as mental, and it can be quite draining. But it's dealing with the issue. So people that are in their sort of 30s, 40s, 50s and beyond now, they can get quite angry sometimes, get quite irrationally short-fused, find themselves being quite irrational. And I do quite a lot of, especially men who come to therapy, going, I don't get it. I don't get why I'm so angry all the time. I lose my temper just like that. And it takes a few sessions to work with them on, but we start working out that there's been quite a lot of things that have gone on in their lives that have affected them and they've just pushed it down. They've just got on with it and just accepted it as what it is, and not giving themselves the chance to let that out and to give themselves an understanding of it. And the most important thing with a lot of things, especially with trauma, is sometimes you won't understand things fully. Sometimes all the information isn't always available to you, especially when you look at things such as child trauma. They won't necessarily have all the information available to them. Things like when you're a victim of sexual assault, you won't necessarily get all the answers and all the reasoning, because you won't be having a contact with that perpetrator. So all the answers that you sometimes seek won't always be there, but it's for you to find your own meaning within all of it, so that you can get to a point of processing and even to a point of acceptance. And that doesn't mean that accepting it is right, it just means accepting that it's happened and working out how you can move forward with your life as a result. So then, keeping things in your consciousness and giving yourself the time and the permission to actually sit in your thoughts and your emotions are so important. The sooner you do that, the healthier it will be in processing it. And so it's the common additive of, a small problem left today will be a bigger problem tomorrow. It's the same with business, it's the same with emotions. So when you're feeling something at a time, if you can give yourself the opportunity to explore that sort of thing with yourself, shut yourself away in a room or speak to a loved one, just talk to someone about it, write down your thoughts or your feelings, something like that. It can give you a great opportunity to let out whatever you're going through and to stop that going down into that toxic pit, which is going to mess around with all the other bad things that have ever happened to you. Or if there's been quite a lot that's gone on in the past, and say you're at that point now where you find yourself to be quite sort of short-tempered and irrational with things, and you're noticing it, your family is telling you it as well, your friends are saying you're not like you used to be, then see someone about it. Come and see me. I'm a counsellor. I work with people like that very, very often. As I say, it's a common thread. It's a way that we do things. You're not in the minority. However, it's not the healthiest thing you've been doing all the time. There is another way around this. So come along, book an appointment, have a chat. I'm based in Rochford in Essex, but also do telephone and online appointments also. You can contact me via the link at the bottom of this post. So I wish you all well. You take care and speak soon. Bye bye.